Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you, Nick, for saying yes, for hanging out with me and just sharing your story of the small part that I've played in your enormous life. And I say enormous life, you're very young, but there's so much that's happened. So anyway, just for the benefit of those that are watching on YouTube or maybe Facebook or seeing some clips, who are you and what do you get up to?
Well, my name's Nick, obviously, as you've said, and I help people find perspectives that get them excited about life, is what I do. And then I make videos that remind them of this way of looking at things, and then that helps them stay on track with what they want to do in their life. So it helps people find perspective that gives them energy in their day that they wouldn't have found without looking at it from that angle. And then once you've watched a video that shows you this way of looking at things enough times, it becomes your new default way of doing things. And that's what I help people do.
I love it. And so how was it? Why on earth did we, in fact, I'm going to change because I don't know what is going on with you. I'm actually going to put us in a different format because if I put you on speaker, you just look like square thingies. That's a bit better. So tell me, how on earth or why did we catch up? This is what you do, and that you are awesome at it by no stretch of the imagination. Why did we catch up? Where were you when I met you? What was the score?
Well, I needed a lot more clarity on what I was doing. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't have any actual way of doing it. And because it was such a massive, daunting task, you would kind of procrastinate it a lot because it wasn't something that I needed to do. It was something that I wanted to do. And then because I kept procrastinating it, I remember thinking, should I get a life coach? And then just started looking online, called a few just said, hey, look, I feel like I'm on a good path, but I just need a bit more motivation. And then I remember I called you and we had a discussion and you were just so energetic and so exciting that I didn't really mind. You're like, yeah, what you can do, just if you want to do it now. I was like, yeah, this lady's cool as. And so I just thought I'd take a chance and see if we could achieve what I wanted, because I knew that there was something outside of my awareness that I couldn't put my finger on as to why I wasn't doing it. And then having someone like yourself to help me to really put my finger on what it was that was stopping me from doing what I knew I should be doing, basically. And yeah, I think we did all of that. So it was cool.
We so did. And I love your gold. I love the gold in this because you're absolutely right. I have two coaches because coaches need coaches because we can't see in ourselves what's going on. We need that inspiring perspective. We need that different perspective of somebody to speak the truth into us, but with love and kindness, you know? And so that was it's like, well, have you thought about this? And what about that? And whatever. And so I suppose, what was your goal, do you think, that you set when we coached together? What was it you kind of had at the end that you wanted to achieve? So we started because you wanted some help or you wanted to overcome some things you were procrastinating over. How did we know that we'd achieved it? What was it you wanted to have done at the end?
I wanted to have the initial goal, I think we worded it as clarity, but then at the end of it, it was more just like belief in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so if I believed more in what I was doing, then it had more meaning to me. And then when it's got enough meaning, it's easy to take the action. And so I think that's what we kind of got out of working together. Yeah.
And I think when I look back, you had everything in place for your business. Like it was all ready to go. You just needed to put the pieces together. And it was literally just week by week, we put the pieces together. And I think it was about week 3, you came back. And can you remember what you said in week 3 when it was to do with money? And it just made me laugh because I can still remember it now.
Yeah, it was something along the lines of I've made more this week than half of than the previous year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one week. It was a massive week. And I've done that a few times since then. And I was just like, this is wicked. And it kind of all just kind of gelled too. And it was more just like, I didn't even really change anything other than I believe that what I was doing was valuable. And therefore I was okay to ask the questions. And it just literally was just asking questions. Yeah. But I never asked the questions before because I didn't believe in the importance of what I was doing properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into that just quietly. Like you've just gone from strength to strength. And I think was it about halfway through you went, oh, actually, so how, because I think I ended up coaching your wife. What was the story there?
Oh, just the stuff that you go through, and like the way things are laid out, and how it shows you how you already like to think, and like what you like, how your brain structures stuff, and what it is that you would be the best way for you to learn something. What are the things that are going to keep you interested? All of that sort of stuff that you don't really analyze that well without having someone help you, like yourself. And then because my wife Karina was struggling a bit just with, I don't know, being a new mum, and just there were a whole bunch of things. I was like, if you did this and figured out what was actually important and what you liked and what your strengths were and all of that sort of stuff, you'd enjoy life a lot more. And so yeah, she jumped on board and got amongst, and it was really cool. It's good for our relationship.
That was the gold, actually. I mean, from my sitting on my side of the fence, it was great because I could see two extremely talented people who just needed to unlock who they really were. And what was even more super cool from where I was sitting is I could see how beautifully connected the pair of you were, how you just are made for each other, not just in your business way and in your relationship, but it was like a whole big picture. And I know you've just been away to Switzerland, which is super cool to see all of your family. But I just sit here and I chuckle because you guys were kind of, again, Karina hadn't really launched her business. She'd got her ideas, but she was very much at the idea stage. You'd got your ideas, just hadn't gone out there with what you'd got. And just tell me, where are you both now? Because anyway, I'm not going to speak. Tell me where you are now and how the business or how things have layered together pretty much 6 months sort of down the track, really.
Yeah. Oh, we're good. We have she does the photography and I do videography, and so we do a few jobs together. And we've got a young baby, so we both work from home, and we've got a cool place out in the country and a big shed. All stuff that we didn't have prior was all a dream. It all just kind of all happened all at once, and now we're living out in the country with a veggie garden and a shed, which is all the stuff we want to have, and working from home and all that stuff. We're just trying to ramp up our cash flow, as obviously everyone is, and we're just enjoying day by day. It's not really, there's no weekends, there's no this that. There's just days that we're working and days that we're not working, and let's just have fun on all of them. So yeah, we've got a cool way that it's sort of designed at the moment in our life. It's pretty cool.
And I love your word choices, designed, because you have literally both of you wrote your visions, and this is you living your dream life. This is what you guys wanted to do and was a far-fetched dream when I coached you, and you have fulfilled that. And I love the fact that everything, as you know, because these are your words, snowballs. Like once you started and once you got going, everything has just snowballed and run for you, which has just been gold. Because that really, your mind wheelies and the way that you do business and the way that you think and what you have to offer is outstanding. And I love the fact that hopefully somewhere along the line, we will be able to have an opportunity to share on stage. I know it won't be this time, but going forward, because what you do and what I do have a beautiful synergy. And the fact that for you two now, you and Karina are on this incredible journey. She's got her business, you've got your business, but sometimes the businesses come together. You are a unique person. She is a unique person, but you come together as husband and wife with this beautiful family. And it's such a joy to have been that small little part of your journey. and to see you grow. But actually, now I think about it, you chose to carry on. Like, you chose to come and be part of the community, the Inspiring Perspectives community, as we continued that weekly accountability, as we continue doing some extra information, some extra learning. How have you found that? What value has that brought to you? Because that was different from one-on-one coaching. It was taking it into like more of a community, more of a family. How's that been for you?
Well, to be honest, the main part of that is like other people that believe in what you're doing. Because what I do is quite different, and there's not that many people into it. It's quite easy to feel like you're an outsider. Not in like a bad, well, sometimes in a bad way, but like you just kind of feel like you're just way different, and there's no one else that's like that, and it's hard to find value in what you're doing if it's just all in the mind. But then everyone that is in your Inspiring Perspectives is looking at their mind and how it works and what they're up to, and so they understand the value of what it is that I do. And then when we're chatting and we're figuring things out, everyone's all excited and understands what you're talking about, whereas other times you're having to explain yourself the whole time because people don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, and so it's good.
And
I just like being a part of it where everyone just joins it, everyone knows what wavelengths you're on. Yeah.
It is so true. This week I've been specifically talking to quite a few clients about boundaries, about it's no good if you are a tennis player trying to play tennis in a soccer field doesn't work. So it's all about knowing what your turf is or what your court is, what the game you play, and where you're best suited to play your game. And what I've found, and that's just it, it's like, so when we come together in the community that we have, we're all wanting to uplift, we're all wanting to grow, we're all wanting to learn, and we're all wanting to share and cheer each other on or share wisdom. And you've brought some incredible wisdom to the group when you shared. And I remember, in fact, I took away fun. I'd forgotten that was the one. It was like, oh my goodness, it was like an epiphany for me when I was talking about how to lose weight, and it was always just, can't do this, can't do that, can't eat this, can't eat that. And of course, as soon as you say don't eat sugar and don't eat carbs, what do you want to do? Eat sugar and carbs. And you were like, no, you just need to make it. And I was like, oh my goodness. And within literally 3 weeks, I lost 3 kilos. Now I have to say, I haven't maybe stuck to it. So I need you to come back while you've been away and Switzerland. I've just gone off the rails. Yeah. But it is about, and I think that's your story, and where there is some synergy for us in how we work, it is about an adventure. Life is a discovery. None of us get there till we're in the box, and it's all about learning and growing and snowballing and just getting things moving so that we're all moving in the right direction.
Yep.
Whew, wow.
I think it's being constantly reminded of that, though. That's what the group sessions do, is they constantly remind you of the fact that what you're doing is cool and good, and there are other people out there that think like this. And then that's why I make the videos, and what I do is because it's so hard to remember, because like you can have a discussion with someone and they can say all these things that are really meaningful, and like you're like, yo, I could just start thinking like this, and then an hour later, you're already drinking another beer, thinking, oh well, whatever. What was that? Not really, but like, you can easily within a week forget what that conversation was and how meaningful it was and stop implementing it. Whereas if you keep following up on it, then it's easier to put things into practice, and reminding yourself often of why you're doing things and the perspective that you can have if you chose it, then it can add a lot of value. But it's so easy to forget. And so being a part of like your community, or having like a video that reminds you of that stuff, makes it way easier to stay on track, I think. Yeah. Because the follow-up is so much more important, because it's making those big changes. And so that's why being a part of like the community was a good thing.
Cool. Thank you. And it's interesting because the conference that's coming up is What Next? And it's how to transform your life with 1 degree, because it's just moving things 1 degree. And then as you walk in that, so it's, as you know, it's that snowball effect. It's like you just do that 1 degree move or 1 degree shift, And over time, that when you're putting the reps in, when you're doing, you know, changing those habits or whatever it might be, or mindsets or thoughts, that it just snowballs into something spectacular. So you're right, like it's our changing of minds, but having that community, having like-minded people around you to support you makes a huge difference. Wow, Nick, thank you for being part of this. We will, when we put this out, be putting your business logo and your website on here, because we need people. If you want to know more about Nick, actually, Nick, where can they find you? If they want to know more about you, where can they find you?
Just www.nothingbutEverything.co.nz, and on Facebook and Instagram, but basically just the website. Website's good.
Excellent. And I encourage everyone to go to that website, go and have a nosy at his Mind Wheelies. They are outstanding. And I'm looking forward to working with Nick next year, because it would be amazing to offer maybe what you do for the mastermind group. So we're going to look at some opportunities of how we can work together to really make sure that we are maximizing the best of the best for all of us. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to keeping working with you.
Awesome. Cheers.